Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And we have finally gotten an update on Pokemon Pocket. So, I haven't made any videos on Pokemon Pocket in a minute, I'm sorry about that. I still play the game every single day, of course, logging in. I have almost 1,000 cards at this point, basically every card from Genetic Apex. I've completed a few other decks. I have a Pikachu EX deck that I like, but I've just been really busy, so I haven't made any new videos on it. I will be making more videos after the expansion drops, which it drops on the 17th of December. Okay, and we have some new cards that have been announced. So the booster pack is called Mythical Island. Let's see. And features over 80 new cards, including 5 new EX cards and 5 new trainer cards. So that's pretty exciting for a mini set. I'm looking forward to it. Let's take a look at some of the cards that we're getting. So we have Mew EX. Mew EX, 130 health, 1 psychic energy to give it Psy Shot, which does 20 damage. That's fair. You know, an EX Pokemon that can attack on turn 1 is pretty nice. We have the same thing on Zapdos, and it works just fine. And then the 3 energy ability, which you can use any energies for, Genome Hacking. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon attacks and use it as this attack. That's perfect. That's literally Mew. Mew can do anything. So I love this ability. It's really cool. Obviously, it will make Mew a great counter to other EX Pokemon. I do think like a Mew and Mewtwo EX deck will be very, very powerful, especially with Gardevoir supporting them. So yeah, I think 2 copies of Mew EX just slots right into your existing Mewtwo EX deck. And you just take out, I don't know, maybe X Speed or some trainer card you don't care about. Really good. Next up, we have Aerodactyl EX. Cool. I like that the fossil deck is getting some support. And unlike the existing Aerodactyl, this Aerodactyl is a fighting Pokemon. That's right. So we have Aerodactyl EX, the ability Primeval Law. Your opponent can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their active Pokemon. That's really good. So your opponents can only evolve basic Pokemon, bench Pokemon, and if they have their Pokemon out in the active Pokemon zone, it's stuck there. So this will punish decks that focus on having as few basic Pokemon as possible, because if they're playing a deck like the Ninetales deck, for example, and they only have 1 Vulpix in their deck, well, they need to find some bench Pokemon and then retreat with their Vulpix, or else their Ninetales just isn't going to happen. Same thing with like a Charizard EX deck, right? If you can drag Charmeleon into the fight, even if you can't kill the Charmeleon, unless they spend an energy to retreat with it, it's not becoming a Charizard. So Primeval Law is an excellent way to harass your opponent and make sure that you have time to build up your attacks. In addition, his attack is called Land Crush, 1 fighting energy and any other color energy for 80 damage. Does have a 20 weakness to electricity, though. This looks really good. I like the artwork. This is like a perfect Aerodactyl card. Next up, we have a new fighting Pokemon called Marshadow. Basic. Requires 1 fighting energy and any color energy, and it is 80 health. Revenge. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack deals 60 more damage. So, 40 damage normally, 100 damage if you had a knockout. This is a great Pokemon to put on the bench to deal with an EX Pokemon that came out swinging. Do a little bit of damage with your active Pokemon. Like, say you deal 40 damage with your active Pokemon, your Mewtwo EX knocks them out. Then you send out Marshadow. Marshadow hits with Revenge. The Mewtwo EX gets knocked out. You get 2 prizes. It works out well in your favor. So, yeah, I think that Revenge is going to be a very good option for fighting decks. And I'm pleased that both Aerodactyl and Marshadow are coming out right now, because we need to put Pikachu under wraps. I said before that Pikachu was really powerful specifically because fighting was not good. Getting more fighting cards is what we need right now. Next up, we have Vaporeon, and this is such good artwork. Vaporeon chilling out on a rock with Finneon dancing all around. 120 HP, that's Vaporeon. Washouts. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a water energy from one of your benched water Pokemon to one of your active water Pokemon. Cool. So this is a great. I mean, this is a great option. You can use Vaporeon to help you transfer energies from, like, say, maybe you get hit with Sabrina, and your Articuno EX goes back to the bench, and now you have like a Blastoise EX in the or a Starmie EX in the active Pokemon zone. Well, your Vaporeon can just move the water energies up to the other Pokemon, and it's as often as you like per turn. So that's really, really useful to you. It's not as good as Gardevoir, but when you have like Misty, this is an interesting option for Misty, because one of the drawbacks, in air quotes, of Misty is that if you flip too many times, you get heads too many times, you're wasting energies. That's not really a problem because who cares if you attach three energies instead of two? But it does mean that you have ways to make that work for you now. So congratulations, water players, you are now even more dependent on ridiculous RNG. Attack is Wave Splash, 1 water energy, 2 colorless energy for 60 damage. That's not good. The 2 retreat cost is also not good. So Vaporeon will stay firmly on your bench. Dedenne. Dedenne, 60 health, lightning Pokemon, 1 lightning energy, Thunder Shock, deal 10 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. This is useful. It is useful that you can paralyze your opponent's Pokemon with just 1 energy. But the damage output is very low, and the fact that Dedenne can't evolve is kind of like, this is all you get. I don't think that anyone's going to use this. Like, the card art is fantastic. The Pokemon is very cute, but even Dedenne enjoyers are probably going to wait for like a different version of Dedenne to include in their deck. This is not going to be worth it. Next up, we have Tauros. Tauros, normal Pokemon, 100 health. That's fantastic. 3 colorless energies for Fighting Tackle. 40 power. If your opponent's active Pokemon is in Pokemon EX, this attack does 80 more damage. Wow. Okay. So for 3 colorless energies, you can deal 120 damage to Mewtwo EX, Pikachu EX, Articuno EX. That will be enough to knock out Pikachu, and it will put a lot of other Pokemon in very dangerous zones, except for Venusaur. This is very useful. I question whether this card will see play. And the reason why is because I feel like the damage per energy is a little bit low. So I don't think that this attack is a problem. 120 damage to an EX Pokemon is completely fine. People have been complaining that if it was like maybe like 150 damage or 140 damage, then you could knock out more Pokemon. I disagree. I think that EX Pokemon, since they give you 2 prizes, should not be taken out in one hit. But I do like the idea that Tauros can come charging in and clean up an EX Pokemon that's been slugging it out with one of your other Pokemon. So I think that's a good option. The problem that I have is that I think the damage is too low for non-EX Pokemon. 3 energies to deal only 40 damage feels really, really bad. And that means that Tauros will inspire a lot of negative emotions in people. You don't want a card to feel bad to play when it's not optimized. You want the card to be okay to play when it's not optimized and really good in its optimal state. Especially in a game where you only have 20 card slots. You can't afford to play cards that aren't good all the time. So, either this card needed to have 2 energies for its attack, which would be broken, to be honest. Or, more reasonably, Fighting Tackle needed to deal 60 damage normally and then an extra 60 damage to EX Pokemon instead of 40 and 80. That would make it a lot more reasonable. You would have a lot more use cases where you could knock out a basic Pokemon after you knocked out the EX Pokemon. Like, what's Tauros supposed to do when you come in and clean up like a Venusaur EX, right? Then your opponent you've taken 2 prizes. Your opponent sends out like an Ivysaur or something. Okay, now you have to try and beat through it with only 40 damage. And pray that your opponent doesn't send out another EX Pokemon while your Tauros is taking hits. So, Tauros needs to be able to win the game through non-EX Pokemon. So, 60 and 60 would be a lot better. I do think that this is this will probably test whether they're going to be willing to change cards. I don't even know if they can. But this would probably be a situation where Like, I think that they're going to see that this card isn't as good as they think it is, and they're going to change it to be 60 and 60. Next up, we have Snivy. Let's go! Superior is a great starter Pokemon, so I'm really excited that we're getting it this early. Snivy, 70 health, 1 Grass Energy, 1 Colorless Energy, Vine Whip for 40. Completely fine. Who cares? Who cares about the basic? You put out Snivy, and then you wait for Superior. Then we have Delmise. This is an exciting Pokemon that I don't think anyone was expecting. Delmise, Grass Pokemon, 100 HP for basic. That's pretty decent. Energy Whip, 20 damage. If this Pokemon has at least 3 extra Grass Energies attached to it, this attack deals 70 more damage. So if you can get 4 Grass Energies on your Delmise, then you can deal 100 damage. And then, of course, the benefit of playing Grass Pokemon is that you can play Erica, which means that Delmise will have an extra 50 health. That's insane. So, yeah, I think Delmise will go great in like a Venusaur EX deck with Lilligant. So Lilligant, Venusaur EX, Delmise, this is good. We want more Pokemon, to be honest. A lot of these decks have felt really repetitive with so few Pokemon. So you want more Pokemon that fit into the strategy. Delmise is a good option that can get started faster than Venusaur can. So I like Delmise as like the Pokemon that you put out first while you're trying to build up your Lilligant. And then maybe you can hit off like 1 Energy Whip before it goes down. And then by the time that they take down your Delmise, you can just throw out the Venusaur. It seems pretty good. We have Morelull. Morelull, 60 HP, Ram, 1 Grass Energy for 20 damage. Cool. I mean, Morelull is a cute Pokemon. Its evolved form is Fungoose, and Fungoose is... wait, is it? Wait, no. This isn't Fun. Fungoose is a different. I'm not all up to date on my late game grass or my late gen grass Pokemon. Hold on a second. Shiinotic? Okay. I apologize to all Shiinotic and all Fungoose enjoyers. Okay, Shiinotic. Shiinotic is a fairy type, isn't it? Let's see.
Yep, it's grass fairy.
Grass fairy. Okay. Yeah. So fairy is not a type that's in the Pokemon trading card game anymore. So, interesting. I want to see what they do with Shiinotic. But Morelull is a good good sign. These stats are fine. When you look at like a basic Pokemon, you do want a Pokemon that has only 1 energy to attack with. So I like Snivy did not look as good as Morelull does. Exeggcute. We have another Exeggcute. Cool. Growth Spurts. Take a Grass Energy from your Energy Zone and attach it to this Pokemon. Awesome. That's exactly what we want. It can only attach energy to itself. And I don't think that Exeggutor... Hold on, let me see. At the moment, Exeggutor only needs 1 Grass Energy. So I'm not sure what they're going to do here with this. Whether they're going to create an option for you to like switch Grass Energies between Grass Pokemon, or whether they're going to print an Exeggutor that has like a 3 energy attack. I don't know that would see any play because it's not going to be an EX Pokemon, and Exeggutor EX is already better than basically anything you could do. So I feel like this is a really cool option that should not have been put on Exeggcute. We'll see. Larvesta, cool. Larvesta is a really cool Pokemon. Fire, 80 health, Combustion, Fire, and Colorless for 30 damage. So this has too much overlap with the. There's another Fire Pokemon that has Combustion. Which one is it? Not Sense Scorch. It's a basic one. I'm losing my mind, chat. This is my first time on this website, so I don't know how to. Oh, Heatmore. Here we go. Heatmore. Oh yeah, no. I was thinking that Heatmore had 70 health and that was the benefit, but it doesn't. It has 80 health as well. So Heatmore has 80 health and its Combustion only costs 1 energy. So Larvesta is a straight downgrade from Heatmore. Okay. We're going to have to keep an eye on this then. See if there's any reason to play Larvesta Overheat more.
I mean, it evolves.
I'm recording.
I know, but
okay, we'll see what Larvesta's evolved form does. Next up, we have Magmar. Magmar, we already have a Magmar in our game, but this is a new Magmar. 80 health, Fire Blast, 2 Fire Energies. Discard 2 Fire Energy from this Pokemon. Okay. I believe that Blaine can buff Magmar. I'm pretty sure. Blaine does buff Magmar. So, Magmar with Blaine can deal 110 damage for 2 energies. That's pretty good. It's not as good as Ninetales, but, I mean, you need options other than Ninetales, so this is a good option. If we compare this to the existing Magmar, 2 Fire Energies for 50 damage. So, it's either 2 Fire Energies for 50 damage or 2 Fire Energies for 80 damage, and you detach 2 energies. Those both have, like, pros and cons. I don't know. I haven't played enough Fire to know how quickly they can recover Fire Energies without Moltres. I feel like 110 is a good break point, though. So, yeah, 110. Yeah, so I feel like Magmar being stronger and not able to use as many energies is better than it trying to, like, trade over 2 turns. So yeah, I like this version better, I think. Blue, we have a new supporter card. During your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take -10 damage from all attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. It's a reverse Giovanni. That's great, because Blue is the gym leader of Viridian City. So that works out well. He's the reverse of Giovanni. The artwork looks terrible. That does not look like Blue at all. But okay. I like it. And lastly, we have Leaf. During this turn, the retreat cost of your active Pokemon is 2 less. I do not think this card will see play at all. This was probably the most disappointing card of the reveal. So, the main problem with Leaf, of course, is that she is basically just an improved version of X Speed. But the benefit of X Speed primarily is that it's a card that you can draw into with Professor Oak and use. You can't play Leaf during the turn you play Professor Oak because they're both supporter cards. So, I don't think that you want to put more supporter cards in your deck. And this is not better than Professor Oak. So, unfortunately, I think this card will probably not see any play just because X Speed is more flexible. Even if this card is better than X Speed. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe there will be some situations where there are specifically 2 retreat cost cards that really want to see a lot of play and also potentially could be, like, weak, so you want to retreat with them. But I doubt it. Okay, so that's the new set. I'm really excited. I will post, on the day that it comes out and kind of show you guys my polls. I've got plenty of, what are they called? Hourglasses. I've got plenty of hourglasses saved up. My name is Serafia. I was thrilled to have all of you with me.